Now tell me about the Akira movie.
Okay, so as we all know, the Akira live-action Hollywood adaptation has been in development hell for a very, very long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yes.
basically a thing where it was like there was a script for it in like the early to mid 2000s, and it was like had some really whack script changes, and it was part of this like lineage of people like attempting to like scripts that were put out for Japanese things where they changed everything and just wanted to back off the IP, like Shadow of the Colossus and Ghost in the Shell and Akira and Evangelion, right? Um,
Yes.
but so this thing is apparently was dead for a long time, and then Leonardo DiCaprio and his production studio were kind of like, oh, we'll bring it back, we'll do it, and so we have it exists again now, and it confuses me why they're doing this because the Ghost in the Shell, while that movie was bad, I got its reason to exist, right? Ghost in the Shell as a franchise is no stranger to adaptations that change things or do kind of what they want with it. There was no reason to that a Hollywood movie couldn't be its own thing with
Mm-hmm.
changes from the movie or the manga or whatever, because everything that's done to Ghost in the Shell has done that, right? Battle Angel Alita, I also understand because that was a passion project that James Cameron wanted to do for a really long time, and people liked it when it came out. So maybe it turned out I didn't see it,
Yeah.
but people I heard not horrible things about it. So that's fine, and it was a manga. It only got like a brief OVA thing, so there's some value in adapting it to a movie. Whatever, that's fine. Akira, I don't understand because the thing with Akira is that the movie's story is actually really, really easy to criticize because it's like not done. The movie was literally made before the manga was finished, but it was directed by the author of the manga, so it has some weird shit in it that's like kind of like hinting at stuff that would come like later on in the manga, and then so some stuff that contradicts the stuff that's later in the manga, like the way that like the cult leader lady is depicted, um, and stuff like that. So there's some weird shit in that with like the way that it pins out with the manga, but the story's plot is very like thin and it feels a little bit anticlimactic and kind of all over the place at times. It's very easy to criticize its plot in that respect, and it's because now that the whole manga exists, it's literally too long to make into a movie,
Yeah.
right? Like, so if you wanted to do like a thing where it's like, here's the now we have the whole manga, well, how about we adapt the whole manga into a movie? It's like, well, that would need to be like 4 movies because the manga is really long.
I can't wait for
Um,
the Akira franchise
yeah.
live action adaptations.
That like that would be better than this, but we know that people see the original Akira, and that's the movie. They want to adapt the movie because people know. Because the
Mm-hmm.
manga is not popular in the States, and even then, Akira in Japan is mostly more known for the film because that was such a big deal, right?
Right.
So the thing that people recognize Akira for is not the story, because the story has problems in the film. What
Mm-hmm.
people know and appreciate and love about Akira is the presentation and like the spectacle and the technical aspects of it. The film is literally the most well, it is arguably the most well animated 2D film of all time. It's the only 2D animated film ever made to be entirely in full film FPS. It is at a full 24 frames per second. It is the only animated film to be that way for the entire film.
Really?
Yes. Uh,
Huh.
Akira's production was so immense and like expensive and complicated that if it failed, in the event the movie did not perform, it could have completely tanked the entire entertainment industry in Japan. Like animation industry would not exist as it would now if the movie bombed.
That's
'Cause
concerning.
it was almost kind of a Hail Mary because the reason it did so well, it actually like saved the animation and film industry in Japan because of how well it did. It was like a Hail Mary. Like if it failed, they were fucked, and if it didn't, then and it succeeded so well that it actually like did very well for the film industry. That's why you had the big OVA boom in the 80s and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that, and that's not something you can replicate in live action, right? Because that's an animation only technical achievement, right? And that's not the kind of same thing.
The first live action film to be incomplete.
48 FPS, like Peter Jackson. We're doing double film aspect ratio.
No, dude, we're gonna do 60 FPS, just
Finally,
like all those
60
great,
FPS.
just like all those great anime music videos, dude.
Yeah.
All the good ones are in 60 FPS. Don't you know that?
All the ones with all the artifacting.
Oh,
my favorite.
It's not artifacting; it's just art.
And then on top of that, so that's the thing, right? And that it's like CG animation is nowhere near as impressive to people now as quality 2D animation is. Like it'll probably still be technically impressive in the same way that something like Avengers Civil War is technically impressive, but we're not like wowed by that stuff anymore, and it's kind of like I don't know what the thing is. I don't want to be that guy that's like 2D animation has more heart and soul in it because that's not really what I agree with. I just think that doing like nailing like Hollywood realism CG is just kind of like there's nothing special about it anymore because of how saturated it is in the market. So there's that, and then there's also everything else people think about it. Yeah, is the iconography, the like the setting and the cyberpunk and the way that it handled like dystopia, like that stuff. It was very heavily inspiring to people at the time. And then like think about like iconic scenes or shots from the movie. You know, Kaneda approaching the motorcycle, or like the slide, or like the motorcycle race part, or Tetsuo like inflating at the end of the movie, and the explosion at the beginning of the movie. Like all of these things are like iconic stuff that are just like it's like part of the movie, and so I don't see the point in like just remaking a movie just to recreate these iconic visuals people recognize.
Recreate it, but make it New York now.
Like there's no reason to recreate something that the appeal is in just the iconography, and you're not going to do anything different with the story. Because the thing is that like you could say that like Suspiria, the original Suspiria, that's something people liked because of the visuals and the iconography and story. Where the game was paper thin, no one cared about it. So you had a remake of the movie that was heavily narrative focused and changed the narrative a lot, and was still visually impressive, but in a very different way than the original film was. This is not that.
This is we're taking the same stuff, but now it's American in New York, Neo Manhattan. But all the names are the same.
This is the dumbest. I hate this. I hate Neo Manhattan because. So the thing was that Akira was supposed to be like a series that drew on the experience of Japan being bombed during World War II.
Yes.
It was like a nuclear memory kind of thing, because it was made it was made in a time when a generation of people had grown up that didn't live through the bomb exploding. They were adults now, people that were born after the bomb, and they never knew what it was like. And so that was kind of what Akira was supposed to be. There's even bits in the movie about like children who didn't have fathers because they lived through it, and their parents lived through it, and so they were kind of distant or despondent because of the way the war does that to you, kind of thing. And that doesn't work with the United States. That's not a thing.
At most, we have 9/11, but that's not really to the same scale.
Yeah, and it's not. and it's also it had a very different effect on our country than the bomb did on Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big dumb thing.
Here's a question I'm going to posit to you, and don't take it too seriously.
Okay.
But is this I guess it's kind of a pattern because we do see this a lot with like adaptations where they take the wholly Japanese setting and then adapt it to an American setting without really taking for granted while also taking for granted like why it was the setting it was in.
Mm-hmm.
Is this, would you consider it whitewashing?
Well, I think yeah. Like
Yeah.
in this case, this is the only that's like 100% like the definition of whitewashing. Like you can like with Ghost in the Shell, you can kind of say it's not because the original city, if I remember correctly, was based off of Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that was like big multinational, ethnically diverse city, right?
Yeah.
And so whatever. With that one, and it's kind of the same thing. Like Edge of Tomorrow, like that. Actually completely forget where All You Need Is Kill took place. But that was like in Europe, and it was like, it was that was fine. I thought as well, because it didn't really matter where that took place in the long run.
Yeah.
Um,
There weren't heavy themes of nuclear apocalypse.
yeah,
Or
but
just
like
like,
Ghost in the Shell is a series that's very much tied to like post-nuclear apocalypticism in Japan.
mm-hmm.
So it does actually matter that it takes place in Japan. So yeah, I'd say that is whitewashing.
Okay. Just something I just thought of in the moment, so I figured I'd ask. Like, oh, could this be considered? Because there's always the complaint like, well, this is whitewashing, and a lot of the times it's valid. Sometimes it's not quite as valid. I
Well,
was wondering.
you could segue into Cowboy Bebop live action in that respect, right?
I could.